So we'll kind of just chat for about 2 or 3 minutes and see if people jump on, and then we'll start running through a couple of things. I got a couple of things I'm going to go through, nothing like crazy. Actually, I'm all about back to the basics, and then we will open it up. And hopefully, if you didn't know, the goal of this is to like bring funnels, actually look at them, give community feedback and ideas. If you're stuck on anything, we talk about that. And so what I'm going to go through is back to some of the basic stuff. So the four of us here, how many of you have read? Oh, how many of you have read .com Secrets already? Hopefully everybody, right? How many of you have read it in the like if you read it once a year ago, how many of you refer back to it? That's to me, it's all about remembering the basics. We get one of the big things that I see, even from people that are like certified consultants and work for Russell, and is that a lot of people, they say, oh, I'm going to go build a sales funnel. And so they open ClickFunnels and they open the editor and they say new, and then they start going. And I'm like, okay, what are you building? What's your value ladder? What's your blueprint? What's everything? What's the goal? What's all of it? And it's amazing because once we get comfortable with ClickFunnels, we're like, oh, let's just start building. But absolutely. Let me make sure I can see everyone's chat. Here we go. Cool. So a couple of things I want to do real quick. I guess I'd introduce myself. I'm Tyler Jorgensen. Been an entrepreneur for pretty much since I was born, and I have always loved, finding creative ways to make money. And so 2 years ago, when ClickFunnels came out, my team and I got involved and started using it. And it's been cool because we've been using it for a lot of supplement funnels, gym funnels, and then doing consulting and helping other people with their funnels in a whole host of different ways. I literally just had a client here. We were talking about a pest control funnel. So we built out a funnel for him. Instead of just having a flat website, his website, the whole goal is to build those leads and communicate with those leads for him so he doesn't have to do it all himself. Anyways, I'm going to keep talking for a little bit and then we'll start kind of jumping around. And I'm still like 80% super duper comfortable on Zoom. This is Mike's account. And so there we go, manage participants. There we go. Cool. You guys are free to jump in at any time. Unless it gets loud, I'm not going to mute everybody. But what I wanted to do, it looked like there was at least one person. It looks like Taylor hasn't read it yet. But there are a good chunk of people that have. So what I want to do is go back to the basics in the secret formula. So raise a hand or shake, jump up and down or nod your head if you remember without looking the 4 steps of the secret formula. I see no movement. None. And I love this, guys. I love this because this is literally the first step in ladders and funnels, which is what we're all building every single day. The first step is secret formula. And look, I'm the biggest culprit of it, and I'm guilty of it. And so that's why I want to talk about it, is partly to help me remember that this is the very first step. So the very first step, most of you have seen Russell's high ticket sales funnel. What's his headline? Someone give it to me. I'm looking for, come on, someone's got to know it. A few more of my dream clients, right? So the first step of the formula is who is your dream client? And the general premise going around right now is that the world is big enough, the internet is big enough, there's enough people online that you don't need to work with anybody who isn't a perfect fit for you, right? And the longer that you try to work with people that aren't a fit for your business and your model and your personality and whatever it is that you're doing, the longer you try to make those relationships work, the longer it's going to take you to really reach your peak. Sometimes we take a customer on, or we take a client, or we go for something that we know isn't our dream client because the money's in front of us today. And so it takes a little bit of discipline to say, no, I'm not going to go after the maybes or the the okay customers and really target the dream customers. And so it's like, the questions to ask are, who do I actually want to work with? Let's do a really quick roll call since we got a decent group here. We got 6 or 7 of us here. I'm going to unmute all, so you guys are live. And then I'm going to run through. I just want to know what industry or business you're in, or if you're doing consulting, just give me something that you're working on. Ben, tell me about like what you're building.
Right now I've got an ad campaign going for a group of flooring stores.
Okay.
And then we're just starting to work on one for like horse arena dust control.
Nice. So those are pretty targeted. That's cool.
Yeah.
And so you're doing this as a consultant?
Yeah, pretty much. And then I've done some of the landing page design and ads and kind of helping like a contractor friend of mine who's getting started with it.
Okay.
He's kind of been experimenting with it. And then what I'll probably do next is bring somebody else in to take over.
Cool. So is your personal goal, right, like kind of just today, let's pick one of the two. Is your personal goal to grow your consulting business and grow and get more clients? Or is your personal, like right now is the big focus to get better results for the clients you have?
Right. Yeah. Right now, like the purpose of being on this call, I guess, would be to take a look at the flooring.
Okay, cool. So for the flooring, you need to work with that client and number one, find out, okay, are you targeting people that, what income range, right?
Yeah, we've got most of that.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And so that's awesome. All right, let's see. Dara, how about you? How do I say it?
Am I on?
Yeah, you're on. How do I say your name?
It's Dara.
Dara. Okay.
So I have a couple of things. The reason I originally came to ClickFunnels was actually because I do marketing for real estate agents.
Uh-huh.
So I have a database of email addresses. I'm here in Canada, so those databases are kind of precious because of all the double opt-in and all of that.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to automate the process by which people order the email blast and pay for it. And I still haven't.
I like that. So your dream client are intelligent real estate agents.
No, because those don't exist. So
You beat me to the joke.
I've been in this industry for far too long. There are just none. No, that's not entirely true, but honestly, they're few and far between. But I mean, it's a very, very specific targeted thing. I have a list for Vancouver. I have a list for Calgary. I have a list for Edmonton. And I do like basically mass email marketing. So they send their listings out through me and I have a custom built system. And I just want to minimize the amount of things that I need to do other than design their like send.
Awesome.
I'm trying to come through.
But I really, really like that. And we're going to circle right back to it and look at some options and stuff for you. And so, but for you, your personal target client is real estate agents to buy and audit and buy your email blast, correct?
Exactly. So people who have a list who are trying to get in front of the other agents in the geographic area that we're in.
Cool. David, how about you? Who is your target client? What are you trying to do?
At the moment, I'm probably affiliate marketing. So initially, I'm looking at ClickFunnels to follow the affiliate bootcamp.
Great. So you're looking for entrepreneurs who haven't started using ClickFunnels yet.
Yes. Also, maybe what would I say? Go to small local businesses that are looking to build a sales funnel up their website. So kind of a long-term
huge opportunity there. Absolutely.
Go down the consultancy route long term.
Yeah. So for you, if you're going to be hitting people in a bunch of different markets, but maybe all one area, but different niches. So you got, a baker and a karate dojo and a hairstylist.
Yeah,
your dream client is going to be pretty broad in terms of what they look like. So you need to hone in on other personality characteristics that you can target. So maybe people that already are spending some money on marketing and advertising. I feel that's a lot easier than someone who's never done it in terms of the sales process. So that's what you're going to need to work on identifying and who your dream client is. How about James? What about you, bud?
Yeah, my dream client will be business owners who are making like mid 6 figures. And that's what I've gotten down to so far.
Okay. And so I'm going to come back to that because that's really good, but also like 99% of business owners, right? Well, maybe not that many. Once they get, after people have been around for at least 3 years, right? If they make it out of that, then that's kind of where everyone seems to get stuck.
Right.
Definitely need to narrow that down either by niche or industry or other things, right? You got to get way more laser focused than that.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. So some of the things that it says, right? Like, anyways, the book's great about it, right? And it's like the big reminder in finding your dream clients is to not work with people that exhaust you. So find the people that are going to be energetic to work with, that are going to add energy.
Right.
And then like the questions that he asks are who are my dream clients? What do they look like? What are they passionate about? What are their goals, dreams, and desires? So if you notice, this part of kind of the customer avatar is almost emotional and just like, oftentimes it's just people that like, you'd almost want to, hey, who would I want to hang out with? Because that's probably who I'd enjoy doing business with, especially if you're in a consulting type environment. I have no idea how to say this next name. Lee Karaoke.
Karaoke, yeah, just like karaoke.
Okay. Whoa. Do you have a good idea of your dream client yet?
Yeah, so they're health consultants.
Okay.
And they focus mostly on belly fat, weight.
So your client is people who are consultants that are doing that?
Yes.
Okay. So so you have like a service for those people or something for them?
Yeah. So part of it is because I was in the health field, and I understand like the process. So I started investing a little bit in understanding like the funnel side. I understand the theory behind it, like how they work. And so that gives me an edge where we can actually talk in the same language.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious, what it is you're going to be offering. So we'll come back to that. Matthew, are you there? Yeah, you're back.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Got some more nachos. So I know a little bit about you, but maybe the group doesn't. So do you have an idea who's your dream client?
Yeah. So I want to do consulting for sure. I'm going to start local first. And as I finish my certified partner program with ClickFunnels, I want to move into a bigger stage. And then on top of that, like we talked before, obviously I got into this to help my gym as well. So
cool. So again, my biggest piece of advice to any of you that are consulting, and this is from personal experience, right, is be really picky about the clients you take on. Sometimes in order to earn a fee or earn a commission or pay the bills, right, we take on a client that zaps our energy, and that one fee that we take can steal us of 10 that were right behind it. So really guys, go back through the book and go through that first step of really figuring out who those people are. We got 2 more, and then we're going to go on to the next step, and we'll come back and kind of ask. And this time I won't call on each one of you. I'll ask so that, but I wanted to at least get all of this out, this first question. So Taylor, how about you?
Hey, if there's somebody else, come back to me because I'm eating some food right now.
That was good. That was one of the requirements of being on the call, is to be eating food. Tonya, how about you?
Sorry.
So my ideal client is what I call side hustlers. And these
I like
are
it.
people who work a full-time business and have a job on the side.
Okay. Do you have their day jobs identified? Like they make X amount of money, they work X number of hours. Maybe they're people that work 410s, like nurses or firefighters or things like that. Or right now, is it just side hustlers?
I don't. Actually, I never even thought about breaking it down to that level. So it's just I have everybody lumped into one category. So that's something for me to think about for sure.
Sure. And that's really what step 1 is about getting granular, not big bird's eye view. And so when Russell Brunson talks about creating a customer avatar, he goes deep into it. Like almost, he like makes a fake person. Like, okay, so Tonya, let's say your side avatar, or your avatar could be something as simple as what you just did, someone that has a side hustle, or it could be James, the 10-year firefighter who has 2 kids, a dog, and he has 4 days a week that he can do something on the side, and he wants to do something online, right? And it could be even more detailed than that. And he likes this is the kind of beer he drinks, and this is the kind, like really as detailed as possible, because the next step, question number 2, is where can you find them? And if you don't know who they are, you don't know where to fish for them, right? So we got like 10 of you on here now. Like, are there any fishers, anybody that fishes on here?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So what's your favorite type of fish to catch?
Bass.
Cool. Do you catch those in, do you catch them in streams and rivers and oceans in the Mississippi or in the Gulf of Mexico?
Lakes, mostly.
In lakes?
Yeah.
Like high mountain, mid-mountain lakes?
Yeah, any lake. Well, actually, lower elevation lakes, because the higher you go, then it's different. Then it won't be any up there.
Yeah. So you're not, and so what we just learned from that really simple exercise is that you don't catch the fish that you want by going to the wrong locations.
Yeah.
And so that's where, number one, you got to know that you want to catch a bass, not just catch a fish.
Yeah.
So step 1 is describing the type that you want, and who that person is and what they do and what they like and who they are and how they're going to interact with you, and all of it as detailed as you can.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like mail order bride, right? You want to pick it out and this is exactly what I want. And then you got to go to the right place. So some of the questions, that he asks is like, what newspapers or websites are they on? If you're doing local businesses, there's a couple of you that mentioned that. Then sometimes it's easier local because we can be visual about it, and it's like, okay, our local businesses are they members of the Chamber of Commerce? If that's the case, then holy cow, the next step's pretty easy. Join the Chamber of Commerce, right? Or are they a member of like a BNI chapter, or maybe they don't do any of that, but they spend time at Chili's every Thursday night, right? Those kinds of things, right? So the next step, step 2 is where can you find them? And really, that question becomes really easy once you do a detailed step of who are they.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Does anyone remember step 3?
Bait.
Where can you find them?
Bait. Yeah. So where can we find them? And if we're thinking of fish, we've hiked all the way up to the right lake, and now we're, using that same analogy, let's draw it out a little more. What do bass? What do they respond to?
Let's say a worm, right?
Okay. So if bass respond to a worm, then you're not going to use a marshmallow, right, or whatever.
Right.
I fished like 20 years. But the point is, the bait. And so, and some of the examples of bait that we currently are seeing a lot of people do are things like free plus shipping, or a free website analysis, or give me some other examples of some bait that you're seeing happening today in funnels. So this would be kind of what's happening on the landing page, right?
Checklists, audits, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Hey, reports like, hey, get the seven must know, or 7 biggest mistakes most entrepreneurs make when they're getting started. Those kinds of things, right? What else? Anybody else?
Webinar.
Yep. A lot of webinars are big. Information. So things like webinars and that, right? Definitely a lot of information. One of the funniest things about all of us working with Russell and ClickFunnels and .com seekers and all that stuff is that he is literally telling us exactly how he acquired us as a customer and how he's going to get more of our money. And we all love it. And so, because we can model what he's doing into any other business. And so, the book .com secrets was a huge example of his bait, right? I'm going to give you the book, because he knows that that most of us here are all now, giving him money every single month with ClickFunnels, and a certain percentage of us are going to use other things, and a certain percentage in the end are going to work all the way up into his high ticket clients. So, he charges essentially $1 million for. So number 4, the last piece, what result do you want to give them? So for you guys, so Ben wants to make sure that those customers get the best flooring for the best price and a great customer experience. Dara wants them to all have a great email blast and a good customer experience, and sell that home. David, local businesses, each one of those businesses is going to be different. If they want to sell more hot dogs, or they want sell more bread, or get more, cut more, do more haircuts, whatever it is. You've got to decide what is it you're going to give them, or you're not going to do that. You're just going to say, I'm focusing on getting you leads, and you're going to have to work on the next step. But you've got to figure out what those are. And that's the very first step, first 4 steps. My next step, the next thing, and I'm not going to go into it, but the next thing is the value ladder. That is my personal favorite, because I think so many people skip the value ladder and just start building a funnel. But I'm going to stop kind of ranting and rumbling. And now that we've got a good group, let's jump into questions or comments, and then we can jump into like some funnel reviews if anyone brought that. So does anyone have anything to just either contribute or a question?
I'm struggling with collecting information from the forms that get filled out on ClickFunnels. Like, I can build a beautiful, elaborate form, but the information doesn't get transmitted to me.
Yeah. Okay. So that is a limitation a little bit in terms of just general functionality. Like, so ClickFunnels doesn't have a form builder kind of like Wufoo or Google Forms or something like that yet. We're all hoping that it does. How much information are you trying to get beyond like contact information?
Well, I need to find out what the listing address is and what the open house dates are, and just some basic information, any details they want, and the send date that they want.
So this is at like order form point?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I want to pay online, but I also want to know what I'm building out for them.
Sure. What I have done on something very similar is like I recently did, actually I'm doing it next week, but we've closed out applications, a kind of a mid-ticket event that I needed a bunch of information like that. I needed a deeper application, and you can absolutely build it in ClickFunnels with like show A, show B, whatever. But it really was just cleaner for me to embed a Wufoo form.
Okay.
And you can do that on the thank you page, right? So they've ordered it. It takes them to a thank you page. They submit the Wufoo form. If you upgrade Wufoo, then you can even have a custom redirect. When they submit that form, it can go to another thank you page, a second thank you page.
All right.
It could almost be like order confirmation and put your order, and then redirect to your thank you page back to your funnel. And it would never actually leave your funnel.
I might do it the other way around, even though
Sure.
It would give them the opportunity not to pay on the second page, but then it would still give me their info, and I could follow up, and I have some clients who pay on account.
Absolutely. You could treat it on that step like an application. Absolutely.
Yeah. From the trust perspective, I wouldn't want like for a brand new client to like land on the site and then have to enter their credit card number before they've even told me what they want. Doesn't, like, the logic to that doesn't feel right. So I like what you're saying though.
Yeah.
Around
So
payment.
Yeah, Wufoo works pretty well for that kind of stuff. And you can get by with the free account, but it's going to be pretty limited if you're already doing some decent volume. So I would, the first level of upgrade gives you quite a bit of functionality. Cool. And it embeds and integrates pretty well with the custom HTML tab. So, what are you using out of curiosity? What's your lead magnet? What are you using to get people to visit your site, or just the
organic SEO? And then also in the footer of all of the emails that I send out, I tell people why they're on the list, and it links to my website. And so I get a lot of people who are either inquiring from the people who've sent, who see that in the footer, or if you just Google Email Blast Vancouver, I come up on like top of page 1, and I have free. So it's just like I've got a lot of business. I'm just trying to streamline what's coming in so that it's less work for me. Yeah,
and so I guess when they come to your site, is the very first thing to basically like request an order or request a list or get information on the list, or is there a lower offer, or do you have a lead magnet at that point?
Nope, there's no lead magnet. There's a little, if you look at the Email Blast page, it kind of gives a little video of like, here's what to expect, and here's the stats, and here's, it just kind of walks them through what happens once they submit the order form. But I think for the price, like, it's $100. So it's $100, and there's a bunch of testimonials from names they'll recognize around town. And, so like, it's not, I haven't had the need to.
Your email list is already strong. You're already thinking, so you almost, and that's good. I love that. Sometimes we think we have to have a low, and to me, for a lot of the products I do, anything under $100, I already consider a low barrier. Like that's my low. So I'm good with that.
Honestly, I think that the Email Blast is like, it is the low barrier thing, because I do lots of other things.
Yep.
And the Email Blast is just the easiest and cheapest of the things that I do. So I literally could be nurturing these to do something else. I just haven't gone that route.
Cool. So yeah, that's the only feedback. I'm not sure if anyone else has an idea on forms and stuff. I mean, you can make it work, and you can make it work with a custom Zap from Zapier to put all that information, like have them fill it out, and the information gets kicked into a Google Sheet. So I have that happen on on one of my physical products, so that my fulfillment house, they just every day read any new orders coming in on a Google Sheet. But it's, Wufoo gives a nice email form. I even have it go to a text message alert. So check both of those.
Yeah, I'm going to. And sorry, what was the other one you mentioned? You said Woohoo and?
So native within ClickFunnels, you can use Zapier to send it to a Google Sheet.
Yeah, I'm going to go lower barrier to entry here. I'll try Woohoo. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no sweat. Okay, anyone else? I will call on people. It's fun. Taylor, we didn't get your client. You want to give us your dream client? You done eating? I think he must still be eating. No worries. Tonya, have you been thinking a little bit more about side hustlers and ways you can drill down on that?
Yep. So one of the other things that will be required for me, I want them to use WordPress.
Nice.
And that's all I've come up with so far. But I did want to piggyback on what you just said. I don't know if you guys know, yesterday ClickFunnels did do a training on Zapier, and it was very informative. So
yeah,
that might help the last person.
Yeah. I think Mark did that, right? And
good.
Mark has been working, trying to get more and more Zaps available and developed. And, I just set one up yesterday, and I was amazed compared to what it was a year and a half ago, how easy it was to fully integrate it, have it into the Google Sheet, just all clicks. I didn't have to leave and do stuff. It was great. So Tonya, what's your product or service?
It's teaching people how to get more visibility from their side hustle. So it's so many people out there who are working full time, and they don't have time to do calls like this. They don't know what they're supposed to do next, how to set up their WordPress site, how to market. They don't know how to do any of that. So that's what I'm helping them do.
Cool. Yeah, I just got in the book, or in the mail today, Neil Patel's new book, Hustle.
Wow. Okay.
Cool. So I had him on my radio show just a little bit ago. And so, yeah, the book just came. So I'm excited to check that out. So let's see, Taylor, you're back. Let's hear who's your dream client?
So my dream client is small local business owners, like mom and pop shops that provide mostly services like HVAC or plumbing, or stuff like that, roofers, restoration.
Awesome.
The local companies that need more business through SEO.
Very cool. Such a huge opportunity there. And so how are you going to drill down from just anybody that's in that business to the people you really want to work with?
I don't really know that. Yeah.
So I guess the question is, are you just so easygoing that anybody that's a service person you just would love to work with? Or are you like most of us, where you get along with some people better than others, and working with some people is going to make your day brighter than other people?
Yeah, absolutely. I like working with a certain type of people. So
yeah. So consider things like where their current revenue is, how long they've been in business, their company size, things that may not limit the type of business in terms of vertical, but may create a snapshot or an area of where they're at currently in their business. Like I was saying earlier, a lot of you guys that are targeting these local business owners, it's really hard to worry about the startup or the one that's struggling, that doesn't have, it's really hard to be in the business rescue business, right? But if you're in the business thriving business, that's a lot more fun. So it's hey, if I need someone that has had increasing revenues for 3 months before I work with them, because I'm here to help you accelerate your success, not fix your company. And these are just ideas, right? But
sure.
Find some ways to drill down on that and be picky, and it's going to help you be more successful faster.
Yeah. Well, kind of talking to that point, and maybe I'm going about the wrong way, is where a lot of us are also trying to target our demographic or specific people on Facebook, right? And so like my mind is almost kind of gone in reverse, like, oh, I can't find those people on Facebook. Why am I even targeting them? So kind of like what you're talking about is, increasing revenue across 3 months, just from my limited scope of trying to find clients that way, it's like, how do you do that?
So there's part of your avatar that's just going to be your targeting, right? So I'm going to target and then part of it is going to be qualifying the prospect, right? So sometimes parts of what you describe in the avatar allow you to target your marketing, and another part of it allows you to like qualify or create your application process, if you will.
Gotcha.
Both things are important, right? And I think for a lot of you guys that are doing local businesses, I think creating an application process as a barrier is a huge credibility factor for all of you. Like, if you're the guy that you can just come onto your website and you can order 6 months of SEO services, but you haven't talked to them yet, that's great. But I like the idea of like, hey, like you got to apply to even have a consultation. And then I'm going to come in and if you qualify, then we'll go to the next step of actually sitting down and having a one-on-one meeting. And then we're going to build out your custom plan. I mean, which one are you probably going to be able to get a higher contract value out of, right?
Yeah.
One that you treated a little bit higher with a little higher touch point.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and Tonya's asking a good question about like a ask campaign. So she says here in the chats, and guys, feel free to throw stuff in the chats. And if you have a link that you want us to look at and you want us to look at a funnel, just throw that in the chat. And then when we get to a stall, I'll pull that up and we'll screen share it. So Tonya's saying, thinking where I can go to survey side hustlers to see what type of jobs they have. So running an ask campaign is not that it isn't really hard. You can use Facebook. You can use a solo ad, which would be hard for this particular one. But I would, looking for Facebook groups, looking for things like that. And then even just doing, again, there's a lot of free tools out there, like Google surveys and things like that you can use to just ask those questions, or even just go and asking polls in groups on Facebook where people that are, startup, almost anybody that's a startup entrepreneur is a side hustler unless they're unemployed, right? If most people that are in these like kind of the starting up groups or entrepreneurial groups, a lot of them are side hustling. And then you can just say, hey, anybody here that has a full-time job that's just getting stuff going on the side, I have some questions. Would anybody be willing to ask? So willing to check that. All right, let's jump. So Lee shot us over first. Answer the public.
It's a resource. It's a resource you can use to figure out like what questions your marketer is asking.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's a resource for people to use. So that's so if Tonya wanted to send that out, that's one of the. So there are companies that do that for you, and this is one of them. There's a couple. I've seen ads on Facebook for a couple people that do that. Basically, they'll get that data for you. And again, one of the things that's been really resting on me, guys, over the last few days is the concept of 5%. If something's not like a really, really good strength of yours, basically, if you wouldn't be in the 5th percentile of that skill, then you'd probably get better leverage of using somebody else that is a strength of theirs, and focusing your energies on the parts you're really, really good at. So let's say you're really, really good at prospecting, but you're not really good at graphic design, right? Well, then why are you doing the graphic design for your funnel? Like theoretically, you should be hiring the graphic design out and focusing on prospecting, just as an example. So Ben, let's jump into yours. I'm going to pull up, see if I can here.
Yeah, I'm going to just screen share it from my screen.
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you do that?
All right, let me know if you can see that.
Yep, sure can. It's gigantic, but yeah. So Christian Flooring.
Yeah, that's the name of their business. And then they've got 3 locations here, a couple different towns, a little bit different markets. One of them's kind of a value market. We might close that store, but the other 2 are pretty strong. They average about 50,000 a week.
Okay, cool. Is their target, like, I mean, what part of the country is this?
We're in Rochester, New York,
Okay.
upstate New York. They're targeting homeowners. Usually it's the woman who comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Typically they have a family, or they're kind of getting ready to start one. And they really own like the middle market in the area. And they're kind of getting like part of the luxury market, but not as much as they could be. And then we're rolling out new things in the store to capture more of like the value shopper. But this is the promotion we're running right now. We started it with direct mail to all their existing clients.
Okay.
That worked well. We saw great results. We're still getting people coming in from that letter. And then we started rolling this out on radio and Facebook. I think next will be Google. We're getting ready to get that going a little bit late. But with Facebook, we're kind of playing around with a couple different things, trying to get them to either sign up for the free labor event and then ask them if they want to book a measure. And then we've also tried just going direct for the measure, because we have two goals, right? It's not like a standard online lead generation, I guess, because we want people to come into the store.
Right.
Then our main goal is increasing sales. But we can also book pre-measures by offering that free measure. And somebody who wants a free measure tends to be a better lead or customer, right? So they're asking us to come out to their house and measure out the floor and give them a real number so they can come in and shop.
Yeah, I like where you're going. Here's my concerns from being a consumer and not in the business of flooring. Mm-hmm. Is it takes me a little while to process what free labor sale means. Even like if you're in that industry, I think it's super like, holy crap, how could you misunderstand this at all? And I see that there's some explanation down here below the fold. But I would just at least consider an actual headline. And I mean, that's more of a free labor sale is just,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah, like a copywriting headline. Like,
I think I'd have to check the other versions. I think we did have one another version.
You know which one's has a higher conversion rate?
There was let me pull it up quick if I can.
What do you guys think? Everyone else on the call. I mean, for me, like it's clean. It's the style of the site. I don't have any major critiques on. You have the credibility indicators. As you scroll, you've got testimonials, you've got, guarantees. Like, I like it. For me personally, I think that it would be worth at least split testing a stronger,
right.
Like, there really isn't any copyright. Like, even if it says free labor sale, like be above sale ends, I would want that, like a copywriting version of what does free labor mean, not just a bullet point version of it.
Yeah, I'll work on that today. Yeah. This was one of the first ones. This one was converting. For conversion on this, we've only had 2. So we've been keeping ads kind of to a minimum until we get things figured out. We spent 200. So far, it's reached a ton of people, generated about 160 something clicks, 2 conversions to the measure, which isn't bad. Like, it would be realistic to pay $75 for a measure.
Okay.
Or even if we could throw in 100 and get measures reliably, that wouldn't be.
Yeah. So just some thoughts that I'm having just as I'm looking at these 2 different versions. Mm-hmm. Make some, like, if I'm going to make any assumptions about consumers, I'm going to assume that they're lazy. And I don't like making any assumptions, but so you do have that. If you scroll back up, you say the 90 cents, and then you do say that's over $400 on most jobs.
Yeah.
I would maybe like find an example of recent one and be like, I'll use one of your other names, like James. James recently saved $527 on his install by choosing Christian flooring. Something like that. Like, and then something like and there's 17 days for you to have the experience.
Yeah, so it could be like Yeah, James took action this week and saved over X on his
You
project.
get it. Yeah. But use a real specific number, not a fake number.
Right.
That's over 400 seems arbitrary.
Yeah.
427, 617, something
Yeah,
like
we
that.
tried 389 too in some of the ads and pages.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't want, you wouldn't make up have a number that's
Yeah.
so big that it seems like it's not realistic, but 90 cents a
Right.
square foot, I mean, seems like most projects are a lot, would be bigger than, if someone did a whole house, that'd be a lot more than $400 on my house.
Yeah, it'd be like 1,000 square feet, 1,200 square feet, do a whole house of carpet, but most people are doing like 2 rooms,
Sure.
2 bedrooms upstairs or something, or a
Yeah,
living.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Somebody else was starting to chime in. Please do. No, maybe not. No worries. Hey, see
Sorry,
you.
I was.
Have a great day,
It
man.
was off. I
Yeah,
do
go
have
ahead.
something to add on to that, which is, people don't visualize their home as in terms of a number of square feet. They visualize their home in terms of, their living room or their basement or their house or their condo or their apartment. So using a word that actually describes their space,
Mhm.
because, you're a flooring company and you're thinking in terms of the floor only, and the person who's sprucing up their home is thinking in terms of their home. So
Yeah, instead of projects, we use like on the average living room remodel or the average.
Yeah, but see, I don't even like average. I like
if you're talking
seeing
person like this guy who saved $526 on blah 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 his living room or his basement.
Okay.
They're not visualizing the person, but what that person did that they then saved that money. Because I think that that's an important part of like really feeling the savings is visualizing your own space that's getting the upgrade.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'll ask the salespeople for some data on that.
Yeah, and you just need, hey, give me the biggest, most recent client that we did and how much they saved, right? And
Definitely.
I would just like to add something. I guess maybe the free labor. At first I thought it was Labor Day sale, so maybe to get a little more specific as far as like what that labor means in terms of the person receiving the benefit.
Yeah, I could do that a bit. Typically, people who are this ad is for like people who are shopping for carpet, right? If you're not thinking about doing your floor, this wouldn't be for you. This isn't gonna suddenly put you over the fence. But somebody's thinking about doing a project next month or in a couple weeks, or
I think you're making some assumptions that just because someone's been shopping, that they know the terminology that you guys use in your industry.
I think they know free labor or labor costs at least.
Sure. I guess the point, like, look, I've done probably 30 carpet projects through remodels and house flips and stuff like that. So I get it. I'm just telling you that it doesn't, like, what I think the group here is seeing is that term, like there may be some confusion with the Labor Day sale. Okay. I missed it. Or may not be as strong as just focusing on the actual benefit of save $526 and then explain that it's a free labor sale, right? Like, so the labor sale isn't the benefit, it's what you're on, right? So I think focus more benefit based, which is on the savings. And I think really focus, and then, in your explanation, which I saw on one of the pages, like you have that, as they scroll down, what does it mean? And it's like, and then so instead of what does free labor mean, it could be like, hey, how do you save $526? They'd be like, we're gonna cover your labor, because now they understand. Now they're in thought process. Now they're in read, because the first headline is reactionary, right? Like, how do I get them hooked? All that we're saying is maybe free labor isn't hooking, right? As much as save 500 or save 300 or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's something I tested in the ad headline too, like using free labor as the headline versus the savings.
And you know what? It's a good point that you said that, because if you're pulling them in through an ad that's already done some indoctrination, that absolutely changes what your headline can be. If you've already said some of that, then one, you need the consistency, and two, if your ad does a really good job, it's already really been the first patch of your sales page. So we don't know all of those, so take that into account when you hear our feedback. But
thanks. This was like one of the best performing ones in terms of
very clean ad. I like that. I like that bright image.
Where'd it go?
Most people's images are lousy. Yeah.
a little
So
bit more.
this, you're right. Like when they have this ad, because they've seen free labor so much,
Mhm.
but at the same time, because they've seen it so much, maybe that's an opportunity. You reinforce it above your order page or above the contact button or
Yeah.
contact field, but maybe use that to reinforce with a different. I got like 36 things ringing here. Hold on a second. Wow, can you guys hear that? Okay, I'm glad because I've got a bunch of stuff ringing on my side. All right, everyone's been ignored. Okay, so so I would just test it. I mean, again, your traffic right now is at a point where it's hard to overly test, but
Right.
if you're about to scale up, it's definitely worth having some other things up there.
Cool.
Very cool, and Dara, good input there.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Yeah, good job on those ads though. Very clean, right images. Did you build those?
Gotta make some money.
What's that?
What? Did you say where did you pull those?
No, did you build the ads?
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
Nice.
So many times I see like it's a dark image or a corner of or a pile of carpet that doesn't resonate with people. So
that's kind of where my background is, more on like the creative design side, I would say.
Nice. Cool. How about everyone else? You guys got something you want us to take a look at or have the group take a peek at or talk about?
Oh, just I wanted to add additional thoughts to the last one.
Yeah, go for it.
So I felt from my side like there was a lot of logical benefit, but I feel too with Christian flooring, there's opportunity for emotional benefit. So whether it be values or integrity, those kind of things. And the other thing would be some sort of urgency. We used to do ads where this offer would expire every Friday. Of course, it just depends on how you're designing that offer, but putting a deadline on it.
October 31st.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah,
there was some
but yeah, I think if anything, it also would be adding the emotional benefits too, because obviously with the cross on the logo, that you guys are definitely representing some sort of emotional value as well.
I think they're probably missing some of the market with that branding, but
you are. But is that bad?
Right. I don't know. I think we're kind of experimenting with digital. We know they're probably missing between $1 million, $1.5 million in business from like the millennial market right now.
That doesn't respond to religious ads.
That we don't know. That's like a theory that I have. Like they're a little bit more spiritual, I think.
Yeah. So, and this comes down
necessarily off, but.
So one of the other parts of like .com secrets is like the attractive character.
Yeah.
And so like, do you guys, the other thing I didn't see in those ads or anything is there was no personal component. There's no like, hey, here's a message from there's not a picture of the founder and
yeah, I could do that.
Yeah. Or something like that. So if they're going to stick with Christian flooring, then they need to go all in at that, because the worst thing to be is to not be, to use a very, very polarizing name, but then not fully leverage it, because then you're not going to win either part of the market.
Yeah. I think they're like probably 75 to 85% all the way in.
Okay.
But it does give like something for people to attack. You see, like when they do screw up on a job, which happens.
Oh yeah.
People will attack that and those values.
Yeah. It's for me, I don't like that type of a niche. That doesn't matter. It's not my business. But yeah, the whole thing is if you're going to do it, you got to own it, and you've got to, you got to take the bad with the good when you're going to be that polarizing. And there's a lot of upside to that. But yeah, if they mess up, they got to find a way to make it still seem Christian the way they
do. That's kind of their problem.
Yeah. Hey, your job is just to have them have more opportunities, right? So they can fix the rest. Good insight, guys. Let's see. Anybody else anyone else have a funnel they want us to take a look at, or a value ladder question, or a low barrier offer question, lead magnet question, conversion optimization? I'm going to call on people because I like doing it. It's fun. I'll just ask people I want to know more about their business. Lee, I'm curious what product you're offering to health consultants. You still there, bud? Lee.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, what's up? Tell us.
Yeah, so one of the challenge I'm offering, the name of the product is called .com targeting.
Okay.
And it's more about actually, testing different angles on how to actually increase those conversions, mostly for health, for health and fitness consultants. Having been in a couple of groups with them, like one of the biggest challenges is the offer, and I think most business owners, consultants also struggle with coming up with a compelling offer that can actually convert. So I'm literally just finished a 4-week program, just putting everything together on crafting an offer that actually converts. And let me see. Let me pull up the actual website. So I'm split testing. I've put let me put it in the chat.
Great. Or can
there
you
you go.
screen share if you wanted?
Oh, okay. Sure.
You got to do that there at the bottom. There's a share screen, the green button with an arrow.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Boom, you're up.
Yeah. So I was on a call last weekend with Mike, and I had to, he gave me some input on the headline. So I changed the headline a little bit, and I'm going to test 2 different versions. So this is the first version where it's just text and addressing. I still have to input like that I'm talking to healthcare, but the ad is going to be talking to the actual healthcare consultants.
Sure.
And then do the indoctrination using the ad. And then when they come to the actual landing page, this is going to be the landing page. So, and then the other one is where I actually just put the video up front instead of having them to opt in to get the trifecta secret. Just give them the secret, and then
I like that you're willing to test that. That's really good, because I'm a big believer in giving as much value as you can up front, and then so that by the time they're giving you their email, they already have received value. And the email or the next step is for the next level of value. So oftentimes people want to get an opt-in on the promise of value delivered. And that's not really how sales funnels work, right? The concept of a sales funnel is really to give value first and then ascend. So actually I just showed Neil's book. Like he talked about it on the interview. He said, you got to flip the sales funnel. What he meant by that is value first and then ascend, value first and then ascend. So I'm glad that you're at least willing to test that, because as a consumer, I always like when I know, hey, I'm getting value now, I'll go to the next step. Right. Yeah.
So, and the other thing, the ad will have value. Mm-hmm. So, by the time they even get to click, like one of the ways that I've been testing is I've come to find out that, that usually I do a lot of my testing at the page post engagement level.
Okay.
Because it's cheaper and you can run like a whole bunch of different tests. And then when I actually get to the point where I'm actually taking them from the PPE stage to now getting out of Facebook, they've already received the value. And now and then there's also a bunch of social proof. And then now I can take them outside Facebook to now interact. So one of the things, the thing that I've been testing is this, and also having just the video up front, and then just offering what the trifecta effect strategy is, and then they get to sign up.
Gotcha. So anybody have feedback, or are you looking for feedback? What do you want from us here, Lee?
I've actually no, actually most of the time because I just finished this, so I'm going to be running ads to it starting today, actually from tomorrow morning.
Good.
And then
yeah, definitely. Mike will be back next week, so it'd be great to come back next week and let Mike know how the ads converted. Somebody else, I sounded like someone was saying something. Someone have a thought? No, you have very few of you have cameras on, so I'm just staring at a bunch of black boxes. Oh yeah, I love it. Hammer jumped in for a second. I love it. All right, so well, good. I mean, I like that you're willing to test those two things. I think data will tell you if it works. So I'll be excited to hear.
Yeah, and also I find a lot of value just attending this Thursday meeting. It's so really helpful. I wish I had known about them earlier. I didn't know it's been running over a year, but I'm just
it's kind of an unofficial thing, right? So it's not like sponsored by ClickFunnels. It's something that Mike just started for the community. And he runs it. So he can't overly promote it, but he doesn't ask for anything. He doesn't sell during it. He really just enjoys helping. As it's not ClickFunnels, it can only get promoted so much. But yeah, it's great. Like the best thing for you, if you get value out of it, is to just let other people know so that more people come on. And the biggest thing is that for all of us when we do come on to try it, like sometimes it's great to just be here and get the energy, but really come in here with things that you need the group's help with. That's going to be the biggest thing. Like, last week you brought sounds like you came in with your headline.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm really grateful.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you and I have talked before. You're up in Seattle or something, right?
Yes, I am in Seattle.
By way of Kenya.
Yeah, there you go. Good memory.
Time for Sudza. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right. So let's see. Anyone? So that was Lee. Anyone else have either thoughts on anything at all, or what we started the conversation on was really the secret formula, right? Does everyone remember the 4 steps? So any questions on that, or even into your value ladder? We've got a couple more minutes. So let's, get some thoughts, or if anyone, honestly, like if you have something that you just want to brag about, please do. Like, hey, I finally got a funnel to hit this, like go for it. Like that's more than fantastic. So, we've heard a bit from Tonya. We've heard a bit from Taylor recently. So James, if you want to hit, you got something, I think, yeah, you're still there. You got something for us? Maybe not. He might be gone. Some people just stay on even though they walk away.
Oh yeah, I'm here. Actually, sorry about that.
Yeah. I don't unmute people for them because, like, for all I know, you're yelling at your kid in the background. My name is Tyler. I'm Tyler Jorgensen. I'm not Mike. I always forget I'm on.
Yeah. No, totally.
So yeah.
No, I actually forgot myself.
Yeah.
But I put up a quick funnel. I don't know if there's enough time for a review for it, but I'll just put it up there and then see however much time we have. If you can provide any feedback, that'd be awesome.
Cool.
All right, I'll share my screen. Let me know if you guys see that.
I don't yet. Does anyone else? I'm seeing a black there. Oh, it's popping.
Okay, is that cool?
There it goes. Yep, you're live.
Okay, cool. So, I'm not a designer or a web developer, but this is kind of my first take at a website with ClickFunnels. So would love, I think it's also part of this cobbler's kids thing where I'm not spending enough time on my own thing, but I'd love any feedback you guys have.
Okay. So let's dig through it. So tell me a little bit about, so we said, is this your mid 6-figure client?
It could be. This was developed before I fine-tuned and need to fine-tune more my avatar.
Okay.
But this was the general site to say, I'm here to help you grow your business online.
Cool. What's your value ladder?
I will have, what we're doing now is it's straight to webinar and then webinar to a strategy call to client. And then I'll have, some back-end offer in terms of one-on-one, more custom services.
Cool. So webinar to strategy into whatever the core products are that make sense for that client.
Yeah, it's less specific, less productized, and more done for you consulting to begin.
Okay, cool. So before we criticize, or I mean, provide feedback. How far along do you feel this is?
I mean, this is like, if there were 10 phases, this is like phase 2. So I think it's really just basic. Yeah.
Yeah. So I like that you're using white as the background. Personally, I just think that does really well in the niche and areas you're looking for. You definitely need some imagery that is compelling.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would definitely play with how much green you use. I like it as an accent. I do not like it as a primary color. Again, these are opinions. So take
great. I appreciate that.
Grain, but like a block of salt, like that sea scrub container load worth it. But that's just me. Like, I think it's great as an accent color, but overly used, I just find green to be aggressive.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely you almost need like a hero image. Because growing your business, again, this is a very, that's why you notice so many, I guess. So your customer avatar, you're working on that. What is your attractive character?
Well,
you, first of all,
it should be me. It's basically it'll be kind of stepping out of my comfort zone to be so, but yeah, it should be.
Do you know of the types, which attractive character you are?
It'd probably be, to begin, more like the reporter, the curator. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I love that you knew him. So absolutely, like, it is outside of your comfort zone. It helps me if I kind of think of it's my my internet persona.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, and I mean, you may even want to be just James Key online.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because, and look, I'm not saying be someone you're not, but you got to kind of protect you got to protect you.
Right.
And sometimes it helps people. Like, the only reason I'm saying this is because you mentioned comfort zone. Either just own it and blow through it, or find a way to almost be like, hey, this is I'm going to wear the internet me hat. I'm going to wear the consultant me hat. And that guy's got bravado, and that guy's willing to be the reporter, and he's okay with it. It just helps me. I've been through that same thought process. So I'm just, and then you've got to make this site personal, because you're not a huge consulting company.
Yeah, exactly.
It's you. And so you've got to start connecting with people as soon as you can on that personal level. So this site's, you've got to become more personalized.
Awesome.
I would love, and you're selling a webinar, I would love to see a video on this page.
Okay.
Because, if I always like to use the format that I'm selling. So if I'm selling a webinar, I want to be delivering through video, right? At least to a degree. If I'm selling an ebook, then I'm going to use text, or, I found that continuity makes the most sense.
Okay. No, that's great.
Yeah. I know we're hitting over 12 o'clock, guys. So people are peeling off. Totally fine if you need to go. I don't mind staying a couple more minutes if you want to keep going through this.
No, actually, I mean, I'm pretty good with it. I mean, I know I have work to do, but I just thought with the remaining minutes and no one jumping on, I'd throw it out there.
No, I love it. And so, that's my initial feedback. Really make it personal.
Okay.
Also, don't be afraid to just start over.
Okay.
Because what you knew the day one that you worked on it versus what you probably know today is probably levels of degree different.
Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes it's harder to tweak something than to just say, you know what? I'm gonna do another build and see if I like A or B more. I did that once just recently on a site that I'd had for a long time. I'd make small changes on. But I'm just gonna step back, close it down, and open and draw out a new one. I really recommend drawing it out first.
Okay.
And as a blueprint, and then go for it. And man, I was so happy with that I had done that.
That's a great idea. I picked up on a couple of times when you mentioned, instead of just opening a new funnel, start with paper and pen and really, get it down in your head first. So no, that's a good idea. I basically
you got to wireframe it out first. And I mean, find some really cool high-end sites to model, and see what you respond to. Cause something tells me that the clients you're working with are going to have a lot of similarities to you, just from what I'm hearing from you. They're probably going to respond to things similar to you. So not that doesn't always work that way. Sometimes people are very different than their target market. It sounds to me like you're going to be pretty similar. So,
I think you're right on.
I can model them, but this is nice. This, to me, it looks like what sites looked like about 8 years ago. But it's crisp and it's clean, but it to me is not, I feel like you're missing the opportunity of what's out there.
I totally agree, man. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no sweat. Feel free to come back next week with it, or even shoot me a personal message if you just want me to review something. Or
Cool, man. Thank you.
yeah, no sweat.
Okay. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no sweat. Ben, Lee, David, you guys got anything? Are we good?
I'm all good here. Thank you.
All right, David. Thank you.
I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, guys. I think I apologize if I lectured too much today. It's been a while. Usually I do more of interview style. So, but I'm glad you guys all came out today and keep crushing it. Keep making things happen. Don't be afraid to step outside the box and go out and do something. All right.
Thank you.
Guys. Have a great one.